Right now, your body is making a decision for you in every conflict, and you don't even know it happened. Before words are chosen, before strategy activates, an ancient survival matrix wired into your nervous system has already picked a side, and by the time your mouth opens, you are simply executing an order issued by a part of you that has no interest in winning the argument. It only wants to survive it. Understand that distinction now, because everything that follows depends on it. Here is the mistake almost everyone makes the instant a conflict starts. They believe they are thinking. They believe the sharp comment, the raised voice, the sudden silence, the flood of justifications. All of it is coming from a rational place, a place of choice. It is not. The moment tension spikes, your nervous system shifts out of what a physiologist would call a state of safety and into a state of defense. And in that state, the part of your brain responsible for calm reasoning loses some of its grip. You are not negotiating anymore. You are running a survival script written by a body that cannot tell the difference between a dangerous predator and a person raising their voice at you in a kitchen. This is not a metaphor. This is basic nervous system physiology, sometimes described through what researchers call polyvagal theory, and it explains why smart, articulate people say things in conflict they would never plan to say. Their nervous system detected threat, downshifted their higher reasoning, and handed control to a faster, older system built for one purpose only: keeping you alive in the wild. That system does not care about your relationship. It does not care about your reputation. It cares about neutralizing danger in the next few seconds, and it will make you fight, freeze, or flee to do it. So here is the controversial part, the part that will make some of you disagree with me in the comments before this video is even over. Your emotional reaction in conflict is not a personality flaw. It is not proof that you are weak, or too sensitive, or bad at communication. It is a physiological event, a state your body enters automatically, and trying to fix it by simply telling yourself to calm down is like trying to stop a smoke alarm by yelling at it. You are not broken. You are unregulated. And those are two completely different problems with two completely different solutions. Most people spend years trying to win conflicts with willpower alone, gritting their teeth, forcing a calm face, while their body screams the opposite underneath. And they wonder why they still end up saying the thing they regret. Willpower cannot override a nervous system in defense mode. Only regulation can. This is the shield nobody taught you to build, and once you understand how to build it, you stop being a hostage to your own biology in every single confrontation you walk into. The protocol has 3 phases, and each one exists to interrupt the automatic sequence before it hijacks you completely. Phase 1 is detection. The instant you notice your chest tightening, your breath shortening, your jaw locking, or heat rising in your face, you name it internally, without judgment, without drama. You simply say to yourself, "My body has entered defense mode." That single sentence does something remarkable. It reactivates a sliver of the very reasoning capacity that tension just tried to shut down. You are no longer simply reacting. You are observing the reaction, and observation is the first crack in the trap that survival instinct is trying to close around you. Phase 2 is the reset, and this is where behavioral physics becomes your weapon. You extend your exhale longer than your inhale, breathing in gently through the nose for a slow count, and releasing the breath even more slowly, because a longer exhale signals directly to your nervous system that the danger has passed, that your body can stand down from combat readiness. While you do this, you deliberately unclench your jaw and drop your shoulders, because tension in the body feeds tension in the mind, and releasing one begins to release the other. This takes only a handful of seconds, but those seconds are the difference between a person who reacts and a person who responds. Phase 3 is the deployed line, the weapon you use once your system has come back online enough to speak with intention instead of impulse. You say something simple and undramatic, a sentence that buys you time without surrendering ground. Something like, "I want to give this a real answer, so give me a moment before I respond." That single sentence does 3 things at once. It signals respect for the conversation, it removes you from the trap of instant reaction, and it quietly communicates that you are not the kind of person who can be provoked into an unregulated outburst on command. You have neutralized the ambush without firing a single wild shot, and in the language of this protocol, That is checkmate, delivered without raising your voice. This is precisely the moment where most people either build psychological armor for life, or they close this video and go right back to being pulled by strings they never agreed to hand over. If you want more of these protocols, the kind that turn your biology from a liability into a weapon, staying subscribed means you are actively reinforcing that armor instead of leaving it half-built. Consider it maintenance for a system you are going to need again, probably sooner than you think. Once your nervous system is regulated, the conflict itself changes shape entirely. The other person is often still operating from their own defense state, still running their own ancient survival matrix, still expecting you to match their volume, their speed, their chaos. When you do not, when your voice stays level and your pace stays unhurried, you have shifted the entire dynamic of the exchange without saying a single confrontational word. Matching their chaos would have been a payment you were never obligated to make, and refusing to make it is what actually moves the board. This is not passivity, this is control, the quiet kind. The kind that cannot be provoked because it no longer depends on suppressing a reaction. It depends on never losing access to your own mind in the first place. There is a trap hiding inside all of this that deserves one final warning. Regulation is not the same as silence, and it is not the same as swallowing everything to keep the peace. A calm nervous system does not mean you accept mistreatment. It means you finally get to choose your response instead of having one chosen for you by adrenaline. Once you are regulated, you are free to set a boundary, to disagree, to walk away, or to hold your ground. But now you do it as an act of decision rather than an act of panic. And that distinction is the entire difference between being used and being untouchable. Practice the sequence enough times, and it stops being a technique you have to remember. It becomes the default setting your body reaches, for the instant tension rises, faster than the old survival script ever was. That is the real payoff promised at the start of this. Not simply winning arguments, but never again handing control of your own mind to a threat that was never as dangerous as your body believed it to be. Keep this armor close, keep it maintained, and never again let anyone pull strings that were never theirs to hold.